Up, everybody? How we're doing? We got a deal review here. Mike's going to run us through this little slide deck. We got a few different properties. I think three different properties to go through here. Mike, why don't you run it from here, and we'll kind of talk about details.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. The first property we have is a single family property in Louisiana. And the address here is 1005 Palm Harbor Way. And again, we picked this one up through an online bank auction recently. Funding, we're going to use a private lender on this deal. I already have one earmarked for it. And then on the next few slides, I'll kind of go into the renovations and what some of the information the agent saw. But before that, let's take a look at the property, some photos, and then we'll look at some active listings and sold comps recently. So the first photo here is the photos that was on the auction site, and the same as what was on Zillow here. You can see exterior looks good, nice brick. Interior here, solid condition. Basically, really nice kitchen still. Carpets, a little bit of maybe light wear and tear. But nothing alarming. It's for the most part what I call like a move-in ready type of property, and then a nice little backyard there. So that's some of the what the house looks like. If we look at some comps now, back out of here, you can kind of see here a few comps in a local immediate area. One that looks pretty similar to the auction property. If we take a look at this one here, similar style design. And then the interior looks pretty similar as well. Well maintained, mix of updates and some original stuff, probably from the early 2000s when this property was built. And I think this ultimately sold for, if we scroll down to the bottom somewhere here.
Yeah, non-disclosure state. So
yeah, but there's a trick, and it's not always 100% accurate, but it's close. Where is it? Right there. It went pending at basically just under 300, 299 here. So
probably assume 290 something.
And then when we were bidding, this property's opening bid was like low 100s, I believe, or something like that. So it's kind of a lot of margin there potentially for us. Mm-hmm. So this is a good similar property. It got us interested in it. We did some more analysis. We talked to a local agent that we knew down there, Jake did. And then looking at the agent remarks here, the agent actually thought right here on the high end in the as-is condition would be the 265, on the low end as 250. If we kind of like blow this up a little bit, we said, okay, if we just buy and relist on the MLS at 250, what's our max bid at 190? And we were happy with that kind of quick return there. And that's again on the conservative side of what we thought based on that last comp we saw on the high 290s, and basically what the agent's saying here. Anything to add there, Jake or Paul?
Yeah, I think that like these numbers seem really solid. When you look at that comp, which is almost the same type of property, you're really comparing apples to apples. So it really doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
It's just sold for 290. If we're going to give a slight discount here, going with that number there, we're safe. We could be to the upside on this one for sure.
Yeah. I mean, here you got an active listing, that's something that we're competing against potentially at 335, and
it's more dated. It looks older.
It's more dated on the outside and then inside as well. You know what I mean? We have the nicer cabinets and newer white ones. So, we got to also think about, okay, what am I competing against on the active market here at a lower price point and more modern? We're in good shape there too.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
If you're lower than all the active listings, you're going to move quicker.
Yeah. So that's our plan there. Again, we got a private lender already lined up on this one. But if you're watching this video and you like these types of properties, feel free to email us at paul@reoauctionacademy.com, and we're happy to kind of talk to you about future potential lending opportunities. All right, next property here. Let's close out of my window on the old ones. And this one is San Antonio. Let's take a look at what it looks like first. Again, maybe trim back this tree a little bit if it's encroaching the house. Same thing with this, but overall exterior looks good. Yard, a little cleanup, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So backyard a little worse than the front yard, but nothing too bad. Interior, again, right? It's the 2000 style color paint and flooring there. Nothing terrible, but livable. Same with the cabinets. Needs appliances.
Has granite, which is nice.
Yeah.
Needs a
tear on the carpets. Nothing major there, obviously. And then
I think our biggest things on this, Mike, is like roof and HVAC, if I
Yep.
recall right when we said trade.
Let's just jump ahead real quick then, right? So we know a fellow friend investor that we've done deals with, who's also a contractor out in the San Antonio market, and he walked the property for us and his team. This 30 to 35, let's just use 35, the high end, includes a new roof in the property, what we would want to do. Just because I think the property is like 20 some years old. If that's the original roof, let's be proactive and put a new one on, even though there's no concerns. And also he mentioned, a lot of the stuff's original, but if we do paint, appliances, reglaze the tubs, countertops, fixtures, etc., the cosmetic stuff plus roof, we're talking 35. And the comps we're looking at, we were ranging between 365 and 370. The local expert had us rate slightly higher than us, 370 to 380. So looking at the profitability from a minor-ish rehab call, even though, roof and, 35K is not so much more minor, because we have boots on the ground and we have a team there that we trust and we could utilize. We're looking at something like this around, high 30s to almost 50K return on our rehab on a property like this.
Yeah, it's a solid one. And having the boots on ground is key too for a market. We haven't done much in San Antonio in a little while. So
yeah. And it helps again, right? Zillow didn't have a ton of comps immediately. So it was tougher to comp, but you find that local agent who has MLS access, a lot more comps showed up, and we could then get more confident with our numbers, talking to the locals, experts out there.
And it's also important that trade.
You got a lot of, yep, and you got the values up here. We're expecting like a 365 return. You can see most of the stuff as well north of that in this immediate development area here. So, anything else to add there, boys?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Trade walked this property twice, so we kind of have a pretty good idea of everything that we're, walking into. Also, he's a guy that we have some trust in, so there's not going to be a whole lot of surprises. Oh well, you didn't tell me to do that. Oh well, yeah, we generally put paint on walls, so things like that.
Yeah. Trey's proactive, and the contract you want to be proactive and get ahead of stuff, like warn us, hey, it looks like it might need HVAC. It definitely looks like it needs a new roof, those things. Yeah. So we don't go in blind and figure in 15,000 on rehab. It ends up being 35, right? So you want to higher numbers to be safe.
Yep. And then looking at my original notes, I think the original agent we talked to here is they were thinking closer to 4 with the repairs we wanted. Obviously, we're going to take the conservative approach. If something turns out better than expected, that's awesome. But we're going to live with the conservative numbers here.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the upside's a bonus.
Yep. Let's do the property number 3, our third and final here. And this one's in Alabama. We've actually done a deal in the last 12 months in this town. So we're familiar with it. We have a great local agent that Jake's built a relationship with. And let's jump into what the photos look like here. So nice little single family property. Limited pictures, but the agent did visit.
Yep.
You can see it's a mix of dated and updates, right?
Yeah, I mean, the general thing was really good cleaning and some paint and things like that.
Yep.
Also it's an agent that we trust too. So, yeah. I mean,
they walk the property.
Yeah, he's old school. He's got a team around him that can come in and do the work that, at a cheaper price.
Yep. And again, here's the comps that we were running. And, what we were ultimately thinking is, might as well just jump to the conclusion here is as is condition 120. So we're using a 120 value, or we got a max bid of 85 on it. So that's kind of a quick in and out wholesale, hopefully for us as plan A. To piggyback on what Jake just said, if you do another, call it 10K in renovations, you're looking at a 155 to 165 number. And based on what we saw comp wise, everything, makes sense. Here's the 120 example.
Yeah. And this house is
small.
Located
it's smaller. It's a 2-bedroom that got 120, but it's again, dated kitchen, just painted cabinets. Yeah. Ours are actually probably more modern than that even. This is a great example where this is one less bedroom, similar style, probably even more dated, got 120. So that's why we're kind of confident with that 120 number that we saw as is as well from the agent.
And the agent did tell us too that investors would be interested as potentially at 120. And if you look at the property, you know, it'd be great for a buy and hold investor. You're going to do minimal on it and rent it and cash flow that property. So you're talking about if you pick it up for 120, put 5, maybe 8 into it. That's probably all they're going to put into it to rent it.
For rental, yeah.
It's going to be a good return. And if it appraises at 150, 160, somewhere in that range, they're going to get nice
refi.
Yeah, they'll do well with it. So makes total sense from two perspectives, because you always want to have multiple exit strategies. We love this price point. That we're picking up for 85, selling it for 120, back-to-back closing, if possible, would be super ideal. And then we're, barely any holding costs.
Yeah, it's like you said, Paul, it's multiple strategies, multiple audience. You could sell to a retail buyer, a flipper, a landlord, or just keep it yourself type of thing.
Yeah. We get the number we want. We fix it up and flip it.
Yep.
Yeah, as soon as we got the agent confirmation, I mean, this was a no-brainer all day long, because I mean, you had the multiple exit strategies. That's the ideal property for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, any of these properties interest you, let us know. You can email us at paul@reoauctionacademy.com. And then, even if you're not interested in these 3 right now, if you may be interested in future properties, let us know too. Happy to have a call and build that relationship.
Absolutely. All righty, guys. We will catch you on the next episode.